Hey people, I'm shooting another video here before my lights turn off because the timers, yeah, they're plugged into the timers right now. Anywho, hey, my previous experiment that I was showing you in the last video, I have a cat that seems to think that I don't know, seems to have thought that I was growing her a salad, and she ate all the basil, all the sage, cilantro, parsley, and luckily she left something behind that didn't interest her. Over there's the bok choy, and those right there are the let's see, oh, that's kale, and that's the mustard greens. And if we get in close, you can probably see, oh yes, we have maturing leaves on those. Yep, but she wiped it out, so I get to start over. And I figured since I was starting over, I'm going to show an example of the other method. It was an experiment that I tried, a few months ago, and it worked out like a charm. Let me get this lid off of here. You see, this is what's going to stop the cat from turning the next batch into her own salad. This is a Jiffy seed starter that was sold with a bunch of the peat plugs. But as you can see, I have scavenged a bunch of the foam that I used in the towers to make plugs. I haven't planted these yet. You kind of have to let these things cure for a while, like 2 or 3 days, because they will float. So they're basically, just 1 inch thick pieces of the foam that's in the towers, and the flat is loaded with water out of the aquarium, since it has nitrate quantities in it. Oh, I should have done a water test so I could show you what it looks like right now, because there's something really, well, not that interesting going on. But if people are not experienced with aquaponics, they're going to wonder why they had a perfectly cycled system and then it goes back to, holy crap, there's a bunch of nitrite in there. At any rate, there's a lot, it's loaded with water, and as you can see, it's not floating right now. Normally the foam will float because of all of the void space in it. It's going to have a lot of air in there, and the way you solve it, you have a spray bottle here, and this is loaded with aquarium water, and it doesn't work. Yes, it does work, but you go around and you soak all of these plugs so that they're perfectly saturated with water, and they will no longer float. And after they stop floating, then you can drop your seeds in there. If you're using lettuce seeds, well, those things are so small they'll just fall into the pores. There's not a lot of work. If you're growing plants that have larger seeds like cilantro, you'll have to use a razor knife to put a little slot in the middle. There's another method, and I've tried it and it works. If you don't want to use a razor knife, take an old soldering iron or a wood burner and just burn a hole down in there about halfway through, and then drop your seed in there. But in this case, these scrap plugs that I just whipped up this afternoon, they're just 1.5 by 1.5 on top and only about 1 inch thick. If you're building these towers, you have to keep in mind that Hibco Plastics only sells this foam in 4-foot strips, so you have some excess left over. Since these are 36-inch towers, you have to chop an extra inch off the top, so you have 13 inches of scrap left over. Well, rather than throwing it away, slice it up, make little 1-inch thick plugs, and do it like this, and you can plant your seeds directly in here, and when they get so tall, you just drop them in your planter pockets over here. No need to slice them and make them look like Larry's knockoff clone of a Grow Grip. Something kind of cracks me up. A guy said he uses Grow Grips and thinks these cost more than his. I'm going, well, these are made out of scrap that would be otherwise thrown away. So technically, nope, these are cheaper than Grow Grips. At any rate, when you do this, I don't know if I can get over here and show this. Well, you can see the power cord going in. Make sure you have a heating mat under these. That thing only pulls about 10 watts. But if you use a heating mat and you put the cover back over on top of these, it sucks trying to do this and keep an iPad an iPad focused on what you're doing. Well, we'll worry about getting that perfected later. At any rate, the little dome on top creates a terrarium, so even if you don't soak down your plugs with the spray bottle, the humidity created in there from the heating pad underneath is enough to saturate the seeds, and they will germinate. But after they're germinated and they have their first set of real leaves, like this one here, see how these mustard greens, now you see a pointed set of leaves aside from the juvenile leaves on there. That's when they're safe to transplant. These other ones still have their juvenile leaves on them, but at least they're not dying. They haven't fallen over yet. But after these over here get their first set of leaves, all you got to do is take that plug out, and it will just drop right in there. As long, make sure your little taproot is against that foam, because that's where the moisture is. Putting my finger in there, it's dry, and as you see when it comes out, hey, there's water on it. So this media is perfectly saturated. The new design for these towers, and I shouldn't really say new design, it's just that rather than using a 3.5 by 2-inch strip, I spent some time with an experimenter, and we found that if you just use a 3-inch by 3-inch strip of this media and put it down the middle, so that one of the corners of that media goes straight down this line here, you end up with a pretty full tower with lots of media. And I'm going to swing my iPad up here to see. I don't know if it'll show it. At any rate, the water line that goes in the front there, I've switched back to putting a T connector on there. Oh, there went one of the timers. To spread out the water so that you actually have 2 columns of water that go straight down the front here and hit each one of your planter pockets. It helps for the saturation drastically, and I mean seriously drastically. So I think that's about all I have for now. Once again, the video is reaching the 10-minute mark, so I'm going to get off of here. It's not because I can't upload videos longer than 10 minutes. It's because I found people kind of lose interest after about, well, long before 10 minutes. So, anywho, that's all I got for now. I'm going to shoot another video after I plant these new plugs, and hopefully my cat will stay out of there. I take the lid off of this one over here, but I'm running out of time. But yes, the chives have come up, and the chives will go in the very topmost pockets of these towers, since they will not create shadows that will start smothering out anything else below them. So that's all I got for now. We'll see you the next time around. We'll just say I'll see you at germination time when this takes off. All right? Take it easy, everyone. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for watching. Later.